Can you hear me? I'm gonna start today's video off with a quote just because I remember I used to watch a beauty YouTuber and she always either led her videos or ended her videos with a quote, and I was like 13 at the time and I always took those quotes to heart. But the one I wanted to share today is, what you get by achieving your goals is not as important as what you become by achieving your goals. I wanted to share that because I've been living through the process and the journey right now. I haven't yet achieved any of the goals because I feel like I just pressed reset on my life after I quit my job a couple of months ago. So I've been living through the process, and the process has really helped me become more of who I feel like I am, and we'll talk a little more about that today. But I wanted to do a little recap. I also started doing, or by the time this is out, hopefully I've started doing bi-weeklies on my Instagram and my TikTok. So I've been like turning on the camera and chatting about how my week's been. But yeah, this is the first summer that I have been self-employed, and it's been at this point like 3 or 4 months. So it's been a little bit of time. I've lived through many things in my life. I'm working on many new things. I feel like there's just so many things going on. If we're bringing it all the way back to May, so right after I quit, we had 3 weddings in a span of like a month and a half. So it was a lot of travel, and the wedding or trip that made me think the most was actually the one that we took to LA. My high school friend was getting married. California right now. We're actually in California for a wedding, and it's one of my high school friends is getting married. I do feel like it's wedding season a lot, so we've been traveling so much, and James is working, and we have been doing some work on this trip as well. But I don't know, California is just so amazing, and I feel like it's like so surreal and beautiful out here. We are heading out soon. I've got my bag, and I like my haircut right now, but I also like when it's longer and also when it's wavy, but it looks good today. Also my nails that I did the other day. Wow. We are going to the beach, so let's go. Oh, this hill. Hi.
Hi.
Where are you going?
I don't know. Can I do one chicken quesadilla, and then I'll do a California burrito.
What are you worried about?
I think it's fine.
We got the tacos. We're gonna find a place to park, and it's really sunny and really beautiful, and we're just gonna enjoy this. Look at the sky, it's so blue.
Can I try the
But anyways, I'm very grateful that I got to see my friend get married, and I hope Lindsay and Jason, you guys have an amazing marriage and life together. On the theme of friends and family, family has been a huge central theme in my life right now. Like, some of you guys might know this because I've talked about it before, but I always knew that I wanted to have family. I always thought I would have my own family by now, so family has been a unifying theme in my life. And now that I've freed myself up from corporate, I really have tried to make an effort. So sometimes I'll be cooking and I'll call my mom. Like, literally the other day I called her just because I got this mochi powder, and growing up she would always make like 5-minute mochi, and I would like stir the flour, add a little bit of water and throw it into the microwave, and she would always cut it up for me. And I just remember doing that with her as a kid, and I had to call her the other day because I didn't know how much water to add to the mochi flour. So I just try to like pick up the phone and talk to them when I can.
Okay.
看上去在我照相机。
来，你们走呢？来，坐呢。
Honey. Got a cake because my dad and I have a June birthday, and they saw this cake at Costco, so picked that up. I have not prepared how I look today, so I apologize. I'm only visiting my parents for a day, and then I'm taking my mom and my grandma to China. So I just dropped in to pick them up and yeah, say hi to my dad and the kitties. One of the things that I wasn't expecting when I left my job is that I would be going to China. So it was a relatively unexpected trip. I didn't know I would be going to China in July. It was like a unique circumstance that I had to be there with my mom and my grandma for, but I'm really grateful that I did get to spend that time. I think it's one of those things that you don't expect in life, but you just get like a moment in time or like a pocket of your life where you get to spend with people you love day and night. And I've never done a girls trip like that. It's usually just been me and my mom going to China. So having my grandma there was really special, and it broke my heart too because I found out she had Alzheimer's, and it's very early, but knowing that she's losing her memory is like very saddening to me. So I really wanted to just like sit her down and talk to her about her life. I told her I was going to interview her, and then she started crying because she was like, there's so much to talk about. And then she started talking about our family. I know there's a lot to unpack there, and I want to reconnect with her a little bit more in this next chapter of my life and her life. Good morning. Good morning. Outfit check with the girlies. 转一下。
这转一下是干什么？转一圈干嘛？来，走了，出门。
外婆好可爱。谢谢。
这要花油吗？好，来，先我10米线，好吧？你要什么肉？
看看我这个，啊，这个看看。好吃好吃。
小点吧。
你要馋辣的，我也可以给。
你加多一些。
我陪你调。
啊，刚才你这里可以。
Cansei de te chamar pra sair de casa, mas você só continua com essa enrolação. Já cansei de te chamar pra sair de casa, mas você só continua com essa enrolação. Eu já limpei e arrumei o que você pediu, enquanto você
We're going to see my mom's childhood friends.
好受一点，揉一揉。
给涂一下你眼睛。
少杰同志，你有什么要求？
你口红在哪？The beautiful ladies.
你好，你看看出脸了吗？哦，你好，你好，好，你看你是多巧，
那么可爱。We're going to get dinner with our extended relatives that I haven't seen in almost a decade, like 8 years at this point. Yeah, so we're getting ready. It's also really sunny today, which is nice, but this is my little outfit. I don't really know how to dress for family occasions. I also feel like here is a little more like conservative, so no crop tops. None of my crop tops are coming out, even though this is like ironically a crop top. But let's go to dinner.
怎么变成这样？对啊，本来是那边翻的，怎么放？
因为我是对着自己，其实你是哪天？
哦，你看自己这。
然后把眼睛顶下，
一个一片。哎，那个不是2片吗？怎么写着什么都有啊？这个凉凉的，我不想是香。
这个是干嘛的？
那我刚才看。哦，你这样也在。我的有辣椒，但是我的只是。这样吧，3之前。好漂亮啊！外婆笑笑，哇，好漂亮。
Especially for my grandma, since she is getting older. I think my mom and I were both trying to take care of her as much as we could. We literally lost her at the airport. I do not vlog when times are tough in my life. Like, I only kind of like feel comfortable sharing when things are relatively good or I'm emotionally sane. But this was like 20 minutes before our flight was about to board. And my mom and my grandma went to the bathroom, and my mom told my grandma to wait for her afterwards. But in the bathroom, my grandma was like, oh, I'm just gonna go back to the seating area, like, you don't have to like come get me. So my mom was like freaked out because she was like, I know this has happened before. This happened twice, by the way. And then after my mom came out, my grandma was literally nowhere to be found within like the whole section that we were in. And so she and I just like split up. We pulled our bags, and then we were like both running around with like bags in different areas. And then I went to like the service desk and I asked if I could just like on the intercom like yell out her name. And then we did that in the local area, and then I went and rushed to the other, like the whole airport area to see if I could do that. And then my mom gave me a call right as I was like reporting a missing person, and she was like, I found her. And I was like, and this is so funny because this was the second time that this happened. The first time my mom didn't, like, the bathroom was right next to the seating area, and when my grandma walked out, I saw her from a distance and she was like walking in the opposite direction. So I like ran over and grabbed her. But this time around, the seating area was a little bit farther. So yeah, it definitely stressed me out. It definitely stressed my mom out. But I think that really like hit me that my grandma's getting older, and I'm no longer like, I am her grandkid, but I have to act somewhat like a parent sometimes. I just want her to be happy and lead a happy like rest of her life. Every time I took a picture of her, I would be like, oh, 外婆好漂亮, which is, Grandma, you're so beautiful. And I think she appreciated that. I'm not gonna lie, something that made me tear up the most when I was in China, there was a lot of like emotional stuff when we were in China. Like, I felt very emotional. One of the things that really made me emotional is seeing my grandma reconnect with her best friend. They haven't seen each other in almost a decade, and sometimes they call on WeChat. My mom will be like hearing my grandma from downstairs, my grandma in her room with her door closed, just like laughing like boisterously, and like my mom will be like, what like TV show is she watching? But she's actually just like calling her best friend. I do think it is so endearing to see my mom and my grandma reconnecting with their friends. Okay, and then one thing that I did right after the China trip was I actually decided to take a 2-day trip to Korea. So my layover was originally going to be in Korea anyways, and I just decided to extend my Korea stay for 2 days. So I was there, and this was my first solo trip that I've ever taken abroad, so it was kind of terrifying to be going to Korea alone for the first time, even though I've been a handful of times. But every single time I'm there with my boyfriend James, who speaks perfect Korean. So leading up to that trip, I had so much internalized fear that I would get lost, not know my way around, or not be able to communicate. So I wanted to make sure that I was better prepared than I usually am. I downloaded all the navigational apps, made sure I had everything I needed, like adapters, booked myself a cute little room, and I also decided to finally start learning Korean using Rosetta Stone. I started at the very beginner level because I don't know much Korean at all, but Rosetta Stone is an all-in-one language learning program, and they are also kindly partnering with me on this portion of the video. Rosetta Stone is an all-in-one language learning program that uses something called dynamic immersion, which means you learn the language the way you naturally learned your first language through real-life context. Instead of memorizing isolated vocabulary, you see images, hear native speakers, and connect meaning to words right in your brain. And since I was just a few weeks away from my trip when I first booked it, I made sure to use so many of their features. Also, the immersive lessons are so flexible because some of them are as short as 5 minutes, and other times I would use the audio companion mode, which lets you download audio tracks so you can keep practicing while multitasking on on other things. So I really loved learning on the platform. Also, they have an amazing unlimited lifetime subscription that I am exclusively sharing with you guys at a 60% discount in my description below. But I feel like that is so awesome because you can learn any of the 25 languages that they offer forever for more than half off using my link. So whether you want to brush up on a language or explore a bunch over time, it is such a great deal. So go check that out if you're interested. It's embarrassing. I think I'm a terrible solo traveler because I get really lonely, but thankfully my soon-to-be niece, my boyfriend James, his brother and wife and their kid, they were in Korea, so I finally got to spend time with them because I've only ever met them on the phone and very briefly at like a college reunion, but I've never spent a lot of time with them. So we went to the MoMA. Leaning more into this theme of like family and friends in this season, spending so much time with my niece, James's niece, made me really think about parenthood. I don't know, maybe I had baby fever.
How does it work? I have to like push it back.
It was coincidental that my trip lined up with theirs, but I also was alone for a good chunk of it. And I think the main reason that I took it is because at the beginning of the year, I actually told myself that one of my goals was solo traveling. I will try it again, but I will say this time solo traveling was quite lonely, maybe because I had been around family for like 2 weeks prior to that. But I guess on top of all that traveling and just like life I've been living, I've been working a lot. But this video, I kind of wanted to avoid talking about work because that's just been like the premise of like my channel and most of my life for the last however many years. And I wanted to be intentional about how I share my life, and this is an exclusively life video. So I have been working, I've been in the studio. If you guys follow me on Instagram, you'll probably know that I've been making a lot of random things. The other things that I wanted to talk about are some favorites from this season of life, from the summer, from these last few months. I wrote down a lot of random things because I've just been plugged into more stuff in my life. One of them being cooking. Oh my god, I've been enjoying cooking so much. Cooking is so fun. I see why that's like a classic adult hobby that you pick up because it's just like amazing. You get to do something and then you also get to eat afterwards. Like, what? In this section, I actually wanted to share some recipes that I like. So in my favorites rotation right now, there is this one that I prep so much. I've been prepping Mediterranean salad, and I've tried a handful, but this recipe is so good. We do replace the mayo with Greek yogurt just to make it a little healthier, and I just highly recommend it. If you try it, let me know. Send me a photo of it. It looks delicious and it tastes delicious. Best recipe ever. Something I've been trying to do on my Instagram the last handful of weeks is every Friday, I have officially claimed Friday as date nights, and then sometimes I'll tell James that Saturday is also date night and then I force him into a date and we do something. But I've been loving home cooked meals. So every Friday, once it hits like 6, we just stop everything. We walk to the grocery store. We kind of like talk about our day and our week, and then we get our groceries and we come back and we just cook. We have spent 4 hours on cooking sometimes, mostly when we're trying to make Italian food, because Italian food is actually kind of hard to like make real good. We've tried to make risotto a lot. I asked for some risotto recipes from you guys, so I have to try the ones that you guys sent me, but the 2 that we tried in the past are not as good. So I also feel like I'm becoming a wine mom because every time we do a date night, I kind of have to have a glass of wine. It's so bad, but it just makes me feel like a little bit fancier, and it also goes really well with the dishes we've been making. I'm really excited because today's Friday, so I wanted to make this peach burrata salad, and that's been on my list of things I want to make. I guess we're just talking a lot about like health related stuff, but something that I wanted to say has been on my favorites is my ring. This is actually an Ultra Human ring. And I will say I did get this as a gift from the Ultra Human team, but I cannot recommend this more. This has been so good for my health and like keeping track of everything. One of the things I've been loving about it is it's helping me track my sleep. And I really realized how bad my sleep schedule was after I got this, because every single day I can look at what is affecting my sleep. It tells me things like what my temperature was when I was sleeping. And yeah, I don't know. It's just been like also a nice accessory. My grandma saw this when I was in China and she was like, oh my God, that is like so shiny. Is it real gold? I don't think it's real gold, but it actually looks hella sparkly and hella cute. I know it does cost a little bit, but I think it's still cheaper than like an Apple Watch and also the other variations of like health tracking rings. So I do think it's worth it if you're trying to be like health conscious. And I also have been getting a lot of questions on this just in my day-to-day. Like my friends have been remarking on this. I have been wearing these for more of a spiritual purpose than an aesthetic purpose. I guess they're cute. They're cute with some outfits. Mainly a couple of months ago, I felt like a lot of bad things were happening in my life. And I am a spiritual person. I don't talk about my spirituality a lot, but I've always believed in like manifestation and like things happening for a reason. So there was one day when we were in Taiwan for a wedding, a string of things started happening, like really bad things. I broke one of my favorite pairs of shoes. I lost this bracelet that I've been wearing for like many years, and curling rod that I brought on my trip just stopped working. And so I was like, something is happening spiritually. And we went out and got this. It's a tiger's eye. It kind of repels bad juju. And immediately afterwards, I came back. I found my bracelet at the bottom of the bed, which I don't know how it got there. And then I plugged in my hair curler and it worked. And the only thing that didn't get fixed is my pair of shoes, which I need to find a cobbler. But yeah, I don't know. Ever since that, I've been very much more spiritual. And I got this one when we came back to New York. This one I think is a mix of different beads. I can talk about spirituality in a different video for way longer, but I have been like wearing these every single day, and I think it just brings me a little bit more peace and reminds me that I'm on the right track and I'm being protected and that I am safe. So yeah, I guess that's on my favorites list. But I've also been back into the groove of experimenting with my personal style and my personal tastes as well. So I wanted to have a little bit of some sections of some of my favorite pieces that I've been wearing recently. So there's this bag that I got, Dolce Vita. It is so cute. I get so many compliments. It's a suede shoulder bag and it has these tassels coming down. And I think I love the color the most. It just pairs so well with like darker colors, like a deep red, but also it pairs super well with like lighter colors, like a whole beige set. And that's been my go-to bag. On the topic of bags, I also have one from Ace Studio that they sent me. That one is so good. It is the biggest bag that I own, and it is so sturdy but so visually pleasing. There's so many compartments in it, and I use that when I have a lot of things to carry, and especially at the airport. I didn't take it on my trip, but I regret that I didn't take it. And I didn't expect to love it so much because I didn't know if I was a big bag girly. But this bag has like kind of converted me into becoming a big bag girly. So my skin has been breaking out so bad ever since all the weddings happened and we've been back. I don't know if it's like the hardness of the water, but it's been nonstop, like fungal acne, closed comedones, like random things. And it looks good because Fenty Beauty is my go-to foundation. Their matte foundation's amazing, especially because I've been sweating so much. It like kind of gives me a little bit of a glow. But I've been breaking out so bad, and I had to take away all of the actives in my skincare routine. I pretty much stripped down all of my skincare routine to cleanser and moisturizer. And I will forever plug CeraVe. Their moisturizers are the only moisturizers that are good for my skin when I'm breaking out. And on the sunscreen front, I have a new favorite sunscreen. It's from Innisfree, and this one's just so lightweight. I know Korean sunscreen is a holy grail, and I stand by that because this one is my all-time favorite probably. It is super light. It doesn't leave any residue. On the topic of sunscreen, I guess since it's summer, I've been using so many sunscreens, and like these two are my favorite, but I have a Beauty of Joseon sunscreen stick. And this is my first time using sunscreen sticks, and I love having it in my bag because putting on sunscreen with your hands is kind of annoying, but just being able to like pull it out and coat your face, neck, or like your tattoos with the sunscreen stick is so helpful. I just think sunscreen sticks are a little bit drier, so it doesn't feel as like sticky as regular liquid sunscreen. I've been trying to be more mindful of applying sunscreen routinely, and so I've been using that one. I highly recommend it. It is so good. Sorry, we're doing all the girly stuff right now, but I have some books that I want to read I guess that's just a random pile of books, but there's some books on my to read list. I don't have a favorite yet, so I will have to share that. But I guess the last thing that I wanted to share is maybe like my favorite makeup look. This is mostly because I've been experimenting again with my makeup. I used to do this all the time when I was doing makeup videos on YouTube, like way back. I will say my favorite recent look is the one that I have on right now, a very simple freckle look. I started doing this when I was in LA, but I've basically been using my foundation and I have these like singular eyelashes that I'll put on after I do my liner and a bit of a freckle moment with my freckle pencil. And that's been my makeup routine for the last couple of weeks. On the topic of plants, not that anyone asked, that planter is something that I want to put on my favorites. I got it because I have a propagation for my Monstera plant that has been sitting in just like a glass jar, like a drinking cup, for a year and a half. And I finally decided to move it to something. I've been eyeing like the circular oval glass planter look, and they're a little bit hard to find, but I got this one off of Wayfair. She's much bigger in person if you actually see her, but I really wanted like a ginormous one, but those ones would be like hundreds of dollars. So this one was on sale. I got it for maybe like $30. Let me know if you guys are interested in my favorites for other things. I love, like, I've just been sharing things I've been experimenting with or that's new in my life, but let me know if you want me to talk more about home decor, books, clothing. I've been like experimenting with my style. So yeah, I think that's all that I wanted to talk about for today's video. I just wanted to do like a check-in like this, and maybe I'll do it recurringly if you guys are interested, but I wanted it just to be chill, you know, like we're talking on FaceTime or something and catching up. And yeah, let me know how summer's been for you guys. I feel like I'm always sharing, but I never get an opportunity to know what you guys are up to. So let me know how your summer's been, if you have any favorites that you recommend. And thank you guys for being here as always. I love you guys dearly, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your week. Bye!